All right, welcome back, you wonderful people. This is the video that we're gonna review the Inspiron 15. This is another model. The model is 3530. So I would have originally done a 3520 model with the Intel's 12th gen. This is the 13th gen. Okay, so we're gonna have a look at the Intel because there's actually two different models here. There's the Intel model and then there's the AMD model, which I'll probably have to touch some other time. Let's focus on Intel first and I'll go through this. So this is called the new Inspiron 15 and it comes with 13 gen Intel core processors. All right, so let's go through the different ones. Now, from what I looked at, there seems to be some ordering difference, but I'm not too sure. Bear with me. We'll go through the PassMarks and then you'll see, right? But I'm going to try to go through this faster than 20 minutes, right? Less than 20 minutes, right? We're going to go through this. That's extremely fast. All right, so let's get it. So it starts off pricing at less than 500 US dollars, which is not bad. And it starts off with the i5 1335U. So this is, these are 10 core laptops, 12 threads. That's marvelous when it comes to like what we had long ago, right? So this is a fairly decent machine for it should be very decent for, I would suspect, work and of course students, that kind of thing. But we have to look at the PassMark because we always go through the PassMark usually when we go through this. So let's go quickly to the PassMark. The PassMark for this one is 14, and as I would have previously said, anything over 10 is going to be fairly decent to be for a normal average basic work laptop or school laptop. It will work just fine. You should be able to handle at least 10 tabs on a browser, for example. You should be able to handle YouTube, all of the stuff with this basic, which is the lowest model, right? So this is supposedly the lowest model. Usually Dell has lowest, middle, and upper for these Intels, but we will see that that might not be exactly the same here today. So there is that first one, and then there's the second one, which is the 334. And what I found was rather interesting was that the lowest one, the number is 1335, which kind of suggests to me, I could be wrong, but it kind of suggests to me that this should have been the middle one, but I don't know why it's the first one. Nevertheless, let's have a look at the 1334 one. So if you click on it, you will see that it automatically upgrades you to a higher resolution, a higher framework rate monitor, right? Screen. So this does 60 frames per second on the original one that we just checked. This does 120 frames per second. So you should see, like, for example, if you're doing some light gaming, but it's at 120 frames per second, that's not really light gaming. But if you have a game that can do that, you should see it a bit smoother on the screen. And so that's what you will get upgraded. And then they also force you into the Windows 11 Pro. So for that, let's see what the price changes. It goes up by $100. Is that bad? No, I wouldn't say so. Because like a 120 frame per second screen is usually more expensive than a 60 frame per second screen. So this is like double the frame rate. And for that price, $100 is not bad. Because as we looked previously as well, to upgrade from Windows Home to Windows Pro on Dell is about $100. You could get it cheaper, but that's just what Dell does, right? Okay, so the PassMark for this is, we see it's 15. So from the 14, it's 15. So that's still good. You get 2,000, you get 1,000 more, which is not bad. If you look at the $100 versus this, I would say it's not really anything to push for. I say you could probably still squeeze it out if you don't want the 120 frames per second. Just go with the first one. All right. But then also these are, by the way, these are processors that have been made in 2023. They're not the latest tech as well, right? So watching this price, I don't feel like, but you should necessarily purchase this for the price. Like, I feel like going a little bit more or maybe going with a different brand is going to get you to a better sweet spot in terms of newer technology. And remember, these are not really AI efficient. Okay, so, and the new thing is AI. So I'm just advising you to be careful before you purchase it. Watch the price of this and see whether it's really worth that without the capabilities of AI, you know, being able to run AI models locally and that kind of thing, you know, because most of the software nowadays, you think that, for example, you might not use AI, but the thing is that now Windows is coming built with so much AI utilities and stuff like that, that you may want to take advantage of that. So if you're making an investment now, you should think twice before maybe, you know, going too much into this. But anyways, let's go to the topmost model, which is the i7. And let's have a look at the PassMark of this processor, because I don't want to take too long. All right, so the PassMark for this one is 15. So it only goes up by 14, 15, and then this one barely goes up even more than that. It's an i7, but it doesn't go up much more than that. So I would say that, you know, for the price of $100 extra, I think all that change was really maybe the memory. I think the memory also changed. Did it? Oh no, so there's a good deal. So this is this I believe is the sweet spot. So the 13 Intel Core i5 1335 is probably the best deal that you could get, with the exception of you will not get the 120 frames per second. Oh, this is going to be an easy video. This is going to be an easy video. All right, the easy solution. Now, if you really want the 120 frames per second, well, then you go for it and you pay an extra $100 to $200 depending on the processor that you have. Simple, right? Because why I said this is the best deal is because if we look down at the specs, we will see that it does come with the Iris Xe graphics, which is probably good. Not good overall for games, but I'm just saying it's probably a little bit better than the UHD. I could be wrong about this, don't quote me on it, but you should check the specs on this. But usually the Iris is supposed to be a little bit newer than the Intel UHD. Let's click on it though and let's see. So when we click on it, the spec goes down to the Intel i3-434. So it's really hard to explain this one, but this is probably the older model, and it's running with the UHD graphics, which is lower graphics, right? But the price for it, the price also changed. Something else changed here, you guys. So when you clicked on the i5, what happened is that the i5, it gave you 16 gigs of memory. So this again is the sweet spot, as we saw, right? And it gets the Xe graphics and stuff like that. You get 512 gigabytes of RAM, and you get the 60. So you get the 60 frames per second on this one, okay? Now, when you go up, and so they try to confuse people with this thing, it seems, because I mean, it's hard to explain this. When you click on this one, which is the middle one, then it gives you faster frame rates, and you get, okay, so you do get the 16 gigabytes of memory as well here. All right, okay. And then the 512 memory, and then we go up again, it does. So what I'm saying is, price-wise, it does not affect the memory, right? So in all cases, you're getting good memory. So why? I mean, you get, yeah, according to this, you're getting the same types of, actually you're getting slower memory here, because you're getting 266 here. Now, when you click on this one, it's going to probably go, yeah, you still get you still get the 266 memory, 2666 memory, and then yeah, it's come standard. So all of this is based on that standard. All right, I didn't notice that before I prepped this video, but yeah, we see that. So I would say, yeah, this is a good spot here. Now everything else is like, you know, having nice stuff. All right, so for example, we see that this is the slower memory, but there is an option for faster memory. So if you click on 16 gigs, and I should mention here that 16 gigs is probably more than enough to run 10 browser windows to 20 browser windows. And also because of the PassMark that I saw there as well, you should be totally fine. So this is a work laptop. This is a school laptop. I would not suggest it for maybe running games, but I'm not a gamer anyways. And I'm just saying that this onboard graphics is probably not going to be good for gaming as much. You will be able to run some games, but don't expect anything for pro gamer. Pro gamers, you guys know that already. So anyways, we're coming back here, and you get a 512 gigabyte NVMe storage, which is fast storage. So I would expect this laptop to boot within less than 10 seconds, or about 10 seconds, right? And with that, I want to see what the price looks like if we were to upgrade it, if it will allow us to upgrade it to the faster memory. Will you notice this that much? Probably not, unless you're doing like video rendering or something like that. And even then, I wouldn't probably suggest this laptop for video rendering, but it can be done a little bit. Light video editing, maybe even Photoshop image editing. Yes, you could get away doing it, but it's whether you would want to use it for that, and slow down your process of your media creation and stuff like that. Let's have a look at when we click on this. So when we click on this, it pushes you up. This is the faster memory that I clicked on. When you click on this, it pushes you up to select the Intel Core i7, which is the highest tier on the processor that we just looked at. That's this one that has 15. Okay, the highest tier one. And it also forces you to get the 1 terabyte SS. Oh no, we choose. So it forced you to get the 1 terabyte SSD. That's the storage. That's the hard disk space. All right. So this is how Dell is kind of forcing you to do it. All right. And so when that happens, whoa, the price drops really high. All right. So if we were back down to the 16, what we get here is under 500. But once we select the 16 gigabytes of the faster memory, right, you go up to, wow, like $300 US more. So again, not really the sweet spot, right? Even though it does give you double the amount of memory as storage as well in the process, you could probably get away with the 512, right? And it does also not give you, it does give you the touchscreen. Oh, so there's a touchscreen as well. So, oh, this is a tricky one. Okay, so let's go back. We go back to the Core. And the Core one does give you touch, standard. Wow, okay. For this laptop, for less than 500, that touchscreen, not bad. Not bad. It is actually a 2-in-1. And so I don't know why they did not say that. They don't describe it as standard as a 2-in-1. This is a goodish price. For less than 500 to get a touchscreen is a goodish price with 16 gigs of RAM. This down, I wouldn't buy it personally because of the Intel Iris Xe graphics. I think I would probably want to get something a little bit better, particularly because I do videos like this and I have to render the videos and stuff like that. But yeah, sweet spot. This one, the 1335 Intel graphics, 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gigs of memory. 512 gigs of storage, fine. Touchscreen, yes. Doesn't tell you how bright it is going to be, but you don't have a choice about that one. I would suspect that it's not going to be super bright. Not something you could use outside, but still nevertheless good. 15-inch, remember, this is a 15-inch screen, so you have a little bit extra screen space. It's going to be a little bit bigger. You probably wouldn't want to use this in a car, for example, but otherwise good. Now, other than that, we go through the basic specs. Let's have a look at the tech specs really, really quickly so that we can look at the USB ports. So you do get a 3.2 Type A port. The Type A port is the standard sort of rectangular port that originally was there for USB. You get a Type C, which is like what you use for your phones when your latest model phones use USB-C. You do get a 2.0 port, which means it's a very old USB port. That has lower speeds. All right, so you get 3 ports, which is not bad. That's kind of standard for most laptops anyways. And they do say that you get an HDMI 1.4 port. So as I said again, you don't get 4K or 2K out of this port. So this is for extending to a second monitor. You only get you get 1080p basically. You won't be able to output your YouTube videos or Netflix videos onto that screen and have it at 2K quality or 4K quality. So something to keep in mind. The weight of this starts off at 1.69. Let's say, so that is about 3 pounds, between 3 or 4 pounds. Not bad, but not good. Compared to obviously the higher end laptops maybe running with like Snapdragon and stuff like that. All right, so yeah, standard weight, right? What else do we have here? We have a nice battery life. I'm seeing here they claim 9 hours and 15 minutes. That is not bad. So if you could get something for less than $500 with 9 hours of battery life, that's pretty good. The specs not bad. I think it was 14,000, pretty good as well too. This is an overall well spec laptop according to the details that we see here. Not bad for the price. I would not, as I said, suggest you're going up maybe for the higher ones unless you really, really need it, because the price doesn't seem to be worth it. With that being said, it does come also with a 1080p camera, which is good as well. Of course, we won't be able to tell how good, because 1080p doesn't really say much. I mean, it says something about the quality of a camera, but it does not. These things are really iffy when it comes to different brands and different models of these cameras, okay? So with that being said, I think I covered most of it. We kind of got that well within 15 minutes, hopefully. Guys, thank you so much for viewing. I hope that this helps you guys out. Sweet spot, less than $500. Yeah, you could probably go with it. All right, guys, have a nice one. See you guys again soon. Bye-bye.